遥か祖先より伝わりし魔法。より速く、より高く、光り輝く。
What's good, YouTube? My name is Coach, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the, for now, finished version of this Kotori Pilot Prodigy Commander deck. It's gone over a couple of iterations since I last made the video, and this is what I have created. Remember, the purpose of this video is to share this with you all, so that if anybody watching this video has any ideas for how I can take this and make this better, you can please let me know in the comment section below, and that in the hopes that I also may share something that may be new to you. Just be aware that if you comment and subscribe to any video on my YouTube channel, you enter for the opportunity to win a free Magic the Gathering card, and it's going to be this card right here for this week, which is Zur the Enchanter. Kind of scuffed over here on the top, I just noticed, but it's just a tutor on a card. So if you like this card, just comment on this video, and every Sunday I do the weekly giveaway and you may win this card. Okay, so whenever we do these videos, we usually go over specific strategies that went into making this deck, so we're just going to get into that really quickly. So the first strategy is crewing our vehicles. Making sure that our vehicles that we have attack is important, which means that we need creatures that are going to crew our vehicles. But not only do we need to crew the vehicles, but we have to protect the creatures that crew the vehicles, whether it's Kotori or anything that we have inside this pile of cards right here. So the first card that we have here on the top is a Mech Hanger. This card reads, for 3 mana at the bottom, target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until the end of turn for 3 mana. Next card we have here is a Kitsune Ace. This is a 2/2 that says whenever vehicle you control attacks, you can give that vehicle first strike, and you can untap the Kitsune Ace for more crewing. We have Psy Master Thopterist. This creates a Thopter token when you cast an artifact spell. Thopter Spy Network creates a Thopter at the beginning of your upkeep. And then the Mirror Smith creates a 1/1 when you pay 1 as you cast an artifact spell. And then Armed and Armored will turn your vehicles into creatures until the end of turn for 2 mana. So a lot of those cards were in the precon, but we need to protect those cards. Mind you, Kotori is another creature that we have to protect. We're going to use a card here called Planar Incision to blink our creatures to protect them. Next card we're going to go over here is Disruption Protocol. Essentially, it's just this 2 blue counter target spell in this deck. It's a really fun card. We have Negate, Supreme Will, Momentary Blink, Blacksmith Skill, Acrobatic Maneuver, and then a Sudden Salvation. Choose up to 3 target permanent cards and graveyards that are put there from the battlefield this turn, and return them to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. So now we're going to go over some of the vehicles that we have inside this deck. We have the Imperial Recovery Unit, which just attacks and returns a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Hey, let me tell you something as a side note. This deck really puts cards inside the graveyard. So I could have put another pile of cards over here off to the side that was just cards that took cards from the graveyard and put it back into your hand or on the battlefield. So just keep in mind that a lot of the draw inside this deck is draw and discard. So you need to play cards that are going to pull cards out of the graveyard, like this Imperial Recovery Unit. Or at least in this build. We have a Smuggler's Copter. Once again, just talking about that. Draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Just talking about that. Prodigy's prototype. This attacks and creates a creature to crew. Shikurai, once again, this is draw 2 and then discard a card. A Peace Walker Colossus. The Reckoner Bankbuster. Enters the battlefield, 3 charge counters on it. You can remove a charge counter to draw a card. Drew 3. This reminds me of a Super Nintendo game. I forget the name right now, but it reminds me of it. Weatherlight. Surge Hacker Mech. The Aerial Surveyor for lands. Imposter Mech. I just think the art style on this card is amazing. Sky Sovereign. The Colossal Plow. One of the best cards in this deck, honestly, if you get to play this early. And then Immobilizer Mech. This crews another vehicle, so we play that. And then finally, the last pile of cards over here are cards that I just think are generally good inside this deck. The first card is a Replication Specialist, which is going to allow you to pay 2 mana and then create a token copy of an artifact that enters the battlefield. We have a Drum Bellower, allows you to untap all the creatures you control during each other player's untap step. We have a Chief Engineer. Artifact spells you control have Convoke. This gives your vehicles flying. This was in the pre-con. It's a pretty good card. We have a Meek Stone. We're going to talk about that Meek Stone in the end. We'll leave that right there, actually. Valor. Remember, we're discarding a lot. So if I could find the blue card that does the same thing that I believe gives flying, I would add that to this deck as well. When this is in your graveyard, it gives all the creatures you control first strike. We have Katsumasa. This card just gives your vehicles flying. This card also gives your vehicles flying. It also looks amazing. Reminds me of Gundam. And then we have that Meek Stone again. So the Meek Stone, this deck is specifically built to only have creatures that have power 2 or greater, or power 2 or less. So the only cards or creatures inside the deck that have power 3 or greater are my vehicles, but they are no longer creatures as it becomes my turn, so they would untap. They're just artifacts. So this card really will basically just force your opponents to not be able to untap. In retrospect, now that I have this here, if I'm thinking about it, playing cards that allow me to tap down my opponent's creatures would most likely be a powerful play. So in the future, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm definitely going to edit this deck and add cards that give me the ability to tap down my opponent's stuff, just to synergize with this Meek Stone, so that that can happen. All right, so that's Kotori Pilot Prodigy for now. You know, as I have these decks, I just continue to adjust, and that's kind of why we're making this video right now. I wouldn't have thought about that if I wasn't making this video. So yeah, you can leave any comments, anything that you think may help. You can leave those in the comment section below. I would genuinely appreciate it. You know, just a quick note before we go, just remember, if you comment on any one of the videos, you enter for a chance to win this card. On Sunday, I'm going to be announcing the card that's going to be for the giveaway next week. And also, I'm thinking actually about hosting a spell table tournament, or maybe even a league for 1v1 Commander, and potentially doing like a fantasy draft type thing. You know, I've run in the past, I've run Madden tournaments. I think it was like Madden 2012 or something. Or no, it was Madden 2011. Nah, it had to be 2009 actually. So I've run Madden tournaments in the past, and I've also run Pokemon tournaments or Pokemon leagues for Pokemon X and Y. And I think that running a 1v1 spell table type tournament would be pretty easy for me to do. And then I think that I could set it up so that we could host the championship games on the channel. And I think that I could announce it, like if it's like a televised football game or a basketball game or something, so that it adds a bit of intensity to the game. And then we can just kind of get that going. And I think that'd be something that'd be pretty fun for everyone. I know that would be fun for me to do. I just need to know if there are other people that would find that fun as well. I will say though, that this is a family-friendly channel. I would like to remind mine, as opposed to me having all these tattoos and being really scary looking. However, I think that I don't really curse or do anything of that nature. So I'm hoping that the people that are choosing to participate in the potential Commander League can abide by that rule and just live by would Disney allow you to do that? And as long as, you know, we can follow that, I have no problem allowing you guys to speak freely during the game or league matches, so that you know, it can be as fun as possible and you guys can have the freedom to be who you are. Okay, so I hope you have an amazing day. Okay, peace.